Once upon a time, there was a little girl named Red Riding Hood. She got her name from that super cute, bright red cape with a hood that she wore everywhere. Seriously, it was like her signature look. Red Riding Hood absolutely loved to skip and play in the forest near her cozy home, where she would pick wildflowers and chase butterflies. You know, the kind of stuff that makes childhood magical. She would often visit her grandma, who lived on the other side of the woods, bringing along yummy treats. The forest was her playground, full of adventure and wonder, and she felt like the queen of her own little kingdom. On a bright, sunny day, Red Riding Hood's mom asked her to pop over to her grandmother's house. Grandma lived in this super cute little cottage deep in the woods, and Red Riding Hood was absolutely buzzing with excitement. She couldn't wait to see her beloved grandma. Red Riding Hood's mom packed her a cute little basket, bursting with delicious goodies for Grandma. It had fresh bread, sweet honey, and some bright, cheerful flowers. Before she left, Red Riding Hood promised to be super careful and not chat with any strangers. Off went Red Riding Hood, skipping down the sunny path through the lush forest. The sun was shining bright, and the cheerful birds were singing sweetly. Red Riding Hood felt super happy and totally safe, just soaking in the beautiful day. But hold on a second. Who's that sneaking behind the huge oak tree? Yep, you guessed it, the big bad wolf. With those big, curious eyes and super sharp teeth, he was watching Red Riding Hood as she happily skipped by, basket full of goodies in hand. The big bad wolf stepped out onto the path, his fur glistening in the sunlight. "Hello, little girl," he said in a voice that was surprisingly friendly. "Where are you off to on this beautiful day?" Red Riding Hood, caught off guard by his charm, forgot all about her promise to stay quiet and eagerly shared her plans. "I'm heading to my grandmother's house," she said, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She described how her grandma was feeling under the weather and how she was bringing her some delicious treats. The wolf listened intently, a sly grin spreading across his face as he thought about his next move. The sneaky wolf had a really cheeky idea brewing in his mind. He casually told Red Riding Hood to gather some pretty flowers for her grandmother. While she was happily picking the flowers, the wolf dashed off to Grandma's house, grinning all the way. The wolf came up to Grandmother's door and knocked hard. "Knock, knock, knock. Who's there?" Grandmother called out, a bit confused. The wolf, trying to trick her, put on a high, squeaky voice and said, "It's me, Red Riding Hood." Poor Grandma had no clue it was really the big bad wolf at her door. She swung it open, and bam! The wolf jumped right in. "Oh no! What's gonna happen to Grandma now?" The clever wolf had another sneaky trick ready to go. He slipped into Grandmother's nightgown and cap, looking super cozy. Then, he hopped into her bed, pulling up the covers tight. Now, he looked just like Grandma. Can you believe it? Red Riding Hood finally made it to the cottage, her heart racing a bit. She knocked on the door. Knock, knock, knock. "Come in, my dear," called the wolf, his voice all scratchy and weird. As she stepped inside, a chill ran down her spine. Something just fell off, you know. Red Riding Hood peered at the figure in the bed, her heart racing a bit. "Oh, Grandmother," she exclaimed, a hint of surprise in her voice. "What big eyes you have." The wolf grinned slyly. "All the better to see you with, my dear," he said, his voice smooth and inviting. Red Riding Hood took a step closer, her eyes wide with curiosity. "Wow, Grandma, what big ears you have!" she exclaimed, a playful grin on her face. The wolf's smile stretched even wider. "All the better to hear you with, my dear," he replied, his voice smooth and sly. Red Riding Hood was totally thrown off. This didn't look like her sweet grandmother at all. "Oh, grandmother," she said, feeling a bit uneasy, "what big teeth you have." Out of nowhere, the wolf leaped out of bed, eyes wide and teeth bared. "All the better to eat you with," he roared. Red Riding Hood was terrified. She let out a scream and dashed around the room, heart racing, trying to find a way out. Out of nowhere, a brave woodcutter happened to stroll by the little cottage. He caught the sound of Red Riding Hood's scream echoing in the air and rushed inside without a second thought. What he saw made his heart race. The big bad wolf was hot on Red Riding Hood's heels. The woodcutter was super strong and really brave, right? He chased that sneaky wolf right out of the cozy cottage and deep into the forest. The big bad wolf was so scared he ran away and never came back. Hooray for our kind woodcutter! What a hero! Red Riding Hood was feeling safe, but where on earth was her grandmother? They finally found her hiding in the closet, having just escaped from that sneaky wolf. Grandmother wrapped Red Riding Hood in a big, warm hug, and they both sighed in relief. Red Riding Hood was absolutely thrilled to see her grandmother. She handed over the basket filled with delicious treats and the lovely flowers she had picked just for her. Grandmother's face lit up with a warm smile as she thanked her sweet granddaughter. It was such a heartwarming moment. The woodcutter hung around for tea, and they all shared a good laugh about their wild adventure. Red Riding Hood walked away with a big lesson that day. She vowed to always listen to her mom and steer clear of strangers from now on. From that day on, Red Riding Hood became super careful whenever she strolled through the forest. She kept her eyes peeled for her grandmother and made sure to bring her delicious treats every time. And guess what? They all lived happily ever after. The end.